So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Shield, bro.
Ladies, gentlemen, Shadra fan of, I don't even know what this creature is, but Lockie told me to say it. Also, I'm not even sure if I said it right. Age, welcome to this episode of Hell of Pilot, episode 33? Yep.
I'm cool with that.
We're in the
33.
30s. We're in the 30s.
Mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
Yeah. So, we have had, FFG have given in abundance with so much stuff, so much unboxing. Yeah. We don't even know where to start. By the time it comes out, there'll probably be more unboxings.
Yeah. They could pretty much stop for a little while if they wanted to.
I'd like to play catch up for a while. Look. It was funny. We were just saying that it was a flood. It was a drought, and then it's a flood. It's horrible. Lockie, what do we have on the show today?
Well, we are going to talk more about 2nd edition. The plan at the moment is to go faction by faction and talk about what we know, and we're going to sync those with the lore section. So today is a Rebel lore section, so we're going to talk about some of the new Rebel Alliance stuff.
Awesome. Mike, anything else?
I think we're just going to muse upon 2.0 and how exciting it looks.
Yeah.
We were talking about, just before we started recording, all three of us are very positive about the potential.
I think it's going to bring in new people. A lot of people who have lost interest are going to come back. We've even seen it with our own numbers that it's gone up.
Stats are up. And if you're listening for the first time, welcome.
And if you're listening for the 33rd time, I hope we counted correctly. I'm pretty sure this is going to be quite a dense show, so yes. I don't think we'll wait around. It's on with the show.
Good day, citizens, and welcome to HoloNet News. Tonight in your empire, modernization. The Imperial Traffic Regulation Authority have announced a new set of rules for how our citizens will be allowed to fly, with the first of these changes to be rolled out in a few months. With modern spacecraft designs progressing all the time, owners of older models are finding it hard to keep up, and their complaints have finally been heard. Citizens will, of course, be allowed to keep and continue to fly their existing craft. It's only how you fly them that will change. The Empire wouldn't force its working-class people to replace all of their ships with new ones. We'll blow up a planet, but we're not monsters. The head of traffic regulation feels that the new system will be the smoothest way for the old and new ships to integrate, and the first step is to restructure licensing. When you fly a small, medium, or large ship in Imperial space, you will still need to carry your license, that is to say a card with your name, the name of your ship, and a photograph of the ship, along with a short list of what you're carrying to display to anyone who asks. The main change is that the price you paid for your license will no longer be printed on the document itself. This information will be stored digitally so it can be appropriately updated as the situation arises. Imperial flight controls say they won't change the details often or just because they can. They'll only do it if you and your ship become a problem. It is likely that these changes will someday apply to huge ships as well as the small and medium and large, but we'll get to that later because hardly anyone flies huge ships right now. Finally this hour, a word about staff certification. With the upcoming changes to the law, you may find that the qualifications of your employees are affected as the roles they were previously trained in is now a different kind of job entirely. Is the ability of a crew member you're going to use different in a few months? We suggest you find out and plan accordingly, or just get them to do what they've always done for a little while longer and then say goodbye. This is HoloNet News.
Nice. That was something to behold.
That was well done. I think you basically encapsulated 2.0 in 2 minutes in character.
that was the plan.
I think that's like a land speed voice record or something.
At some point, we're going to have to do these shows live so you can actually behold the majesty that is Lockie talking that fast.
Oh, there's an idea.
And just turning pink and purple.
Yeah. All right, so let's get cracking. What do you want to talk about first, Mike?
Look, let's talk about. We're going to do the Rebels today.
Yes.
So we can do that. So there's a few ships in there which I think are exciting. I'm an Imperial player, so I haven't spent as much time as you guys, but everything looks pretty good.
This ship, I'm very excited about.
Yes, and I've brought this up for you, especially.
Yes!
The Hawk.
The Hawk! The mighty Hawk! It flies again! It was terrible. It's still terrible. but less terrible.
But actually, no, I think it's actually pretty good. It's actually got 2 red primary, so this thing is a beast. It's going to...
it gets better.
Yeah, it
Don't
does.
you worry, it gets so much better.
It does.
It's a 2 red primary and a mobile firing arc.
Correct.
Yes.
2 agility, 3 hull, and 2 shield.
Now, on top of that,
Yes.
the Moldy Crow title, or is it called a title now? What are they called?
Yeah, they must still be called titles.
They must be called titles. Anyway, the Moldy Crow title.
Yeah.
In your front arc, you gain the primary weapon value of 3.
So
During the end phase, do not remove up to 2 focus tokens. Hello!
So you can't just pile up tokens like you could before, but this is still better.
This is better. And
Hang on a second. So we'll combine. So it's got a massive upgrade in terms of firepower and the dial. Right, one Banks and Straights all blue, essentially green. All the 2 moves that are white with a blue straight. It's got now a 3 hard, which it didn't have before. That's red, but fair enough because the 3 banks are white. It's got a 4 straight that's white and a red
hard stop.
And a red stop.
It's gonna be great.
And a red engine boost.
It can boost. It can jam. So
Oh,
I'm just flying 6 Rebel Scouts. That's
Yeah.
all you need.
So I read in the fluff, right?
Yeah.
In incredible cross sections, I think
Yeah.
from the 90s, it said that the only 2 ships in the galaxy faster and more maneuverable than the Hawk were the TIE Interceptor and the A-Wing.
What?
And like
Yeah.
What?
in the game, that was not like the dial for the old one made sense because it was a turret.
Yeah.
In the version 1 turrets, it only it needed that dial to restrict it, but now that's not going to be the case. Like this ship is a fighter now.
Yes.
This is, and look, I think actually this is the perfect jumping off point because within this redesign, you see pretty much all the things that they're doing to revitalize or change the game. So you've got the concept of linked action. So you've got to focus into I think that's maneuvering the rotating arc. So when we say linked actions, that is you have the ability to take a white action and then you may take the red action. So as we all know, push the limit is gone. Certain ships get certain combinations of these actions. And one of the fundamental changes is that we could freely, if you had pushed the limit, you could freely choose target lock or barrel roll in whatever sequence or order that you've gone. So this is a fundamental change to the game, and I really like it. I think it really forces you to make choices. Like having limited choices means your choices are more meaningful in some respects.
And it's good because you can still do multiple actions. The game would maybe be a little bit less exciting if you could only do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Correct.
But you have less control over what you can do, so those decisions are still important.
Yeah.
Like you can rotate your gun towards where you think the enemy will be or where the enemy is if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And have a aggressive modifier in focus or target lock.
Correct.
But you have to be stressed for that.
Correct. Are we seeing the rise of the jousting hawk?
Yes.
I just realised it's got 2 shields now.
Yes.
Before it only had 1. So
Yes.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of things. The Hawk is the only ship that I came across where the opposite was true of most things have lost a shield to gain a hull.
Correct.
The Hawk is the only thing that's gained a shield and lost a hull, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
So what I've
Except the TIE Defender, which has gained a hull.
noticed is that
a shield. Yeah.
the Moldy Crow title
Yeah.
gain a primary weapon front arc.
Yes.
That means that your primary weapon front arc will always stay there, regardless of where you place the turret. So normally, if you place a turret in the wrong direction, oh no, you can't fire. With the Moldy Crow front arc, you can have the turret pointing to the left and have a 180 degrees firing range, but you still get the front.
it's like people used to do with the Shadowcaster. They deploy it in the corner, face their mobile arc inwards, and go around the board.
Yeah.
And that was essentially being able to shoot always.
Yeah, so but it flew in a square.
Yeah, like this title is probably going to be really expensive. But
Like it
I
could
don't
be
care.
like the Outrider title was like 5 or 6 points, if I remember, and also for the Jump Master to increase
12.
it was 12 points. So I think I'm going to speculate. I think they would have to make it expensive, because could you imagine 5 of these things with jam and mobile arcs and...
Well, it's unique.
Yeah.
Multi-Crow title's unique.
Oh, it's got a
That's
dot.
true.
Correct. So, yeah, no, thank you for that.
But everything else is, no, you're right. Running around with mobile firing arcs and regardless, and also jam actions. There's just so many jam actions.
But even this, like, so I think in some respects, yeah. So, but look, you know what? I'm excited. I've got a Hawk I think I've flown once, and that was probably when I first started the game.
Yeah.
And I looked at and I flew it once, and I went, that was a waste of $25.
So, other than the beautiful Hawk,
Yes.
Tell me about some pilots. Do we have any pilots?
We have Jan Ors.
Oh,
Yeah. So Jan Ors is pilot skill 5, which is essentially pilot skill 8.
Yeah.
So initiative
Puts them
5
close
was
to the
pilot
highest
skill
eights.
8.
Yeah. So it's a high skill pilot. Yeah.
So her ability is similar to first edition, not quite as powerful, but it's in keeping with what it seems like they want to do. Well, hang on, I'll tell you. When a friendly ship in your firing arc performs a primary attack,
also rotating firing arc. It's a rotating firing
Well,
arc.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
you're firing arc.
They wouldn't require it to take the title, because that would be optional. So, while a friendly ship in your firing arc performs a primary attack, if you are not stressed, you may gain 1 stress token. If you do, that ship may roll 1 additional attack dice.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
you still have to take a stress and give out an additional attack. So that's the same as before.
Yep.
And you can't be stressed, same as before. But the friendly ship has to be in your arc, which is
Rebel convoy.
which is quite a restriction
Yeah.
over what it was before. Like
The
she
up-
could just be anywhere she wanted as long as she was in range 1 to 3. And
I'm not sure if this is any different from the OG Jan Ors, but it does stipulate also performs a primary weapon attack. It doesn't mean a missile. You can't just add on a dice to a missile.
A primary
Yeah.
attack. Yeah.
I don't think it's specified before.
I don't think it did, and I think it
Yeah.
did cause some issues, but I don't. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal because we're moving into
Anyway.
2.0.
Yeah, but it doesn't like just dump all the 1.0 stuff. But also, you know what I really like? The little fluff things. The all the pilots, all the named pilots now have these little subtitles.
That's really good.
Espionage expert. How
I'm
cool
glad
is
they've
that?
done that because with these new card layouts. I mean, wow, we're just talking so much about 2.0 in general. But all these card layouts is
Yeah.
off. You lose the flavor text, and
Yeah.
now we've still get that little bit. Espionage expert, amazing.
Yeah, no, it's
Alright.
good.
We'll move on then to another
Catchy.
pilot, one that Mike had already referenced. So the YT 2400 dash. So what will be the Outrider. When you move, you ignore obstacles.
I own this ship and I have never flown it.
Yeah, I never really flew it much either. I actually chucked mine on eBay.
I used
but
to years ago. I enjoyed it. It was a good ship.
Yeah, the Dash Miranda build and Dash
Yeah,
other
but
things are good.
Dash Corrin was the classic and
Yeah.
iteration. I think.
So, this is an example of you would have seen already before listening to this that ships with some abilities and titles they're just part of the card now.
Yeah, baked
So-
in. Yep.
The YT 2400 has Sensor Blind Spot. While you perform a primary attack at range 0 to 1, do not apply the range 0 to 1 bonus and roll 1 fewer attack dice. So, he has a mobile a double mobile firing arc
Yep.
with an attack value of 4, but he still has the dash donut.
Look, so the donut is there, which is good because
But
essentially what they've said. Yeah, you know what? Everybody flies it with the HLC, so let's just
Yeah.
bake that
Just
in.
bake in the
well, it's-
HLC, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a dash donut where he can't attack
Correct.
at all. It's just he's penalized one shot, so
Yeah.
so he can still fire, but only fire 3,
Yeah.
which is good because it still kind of benefits you to get into range 1 of him, and plus the notorious dash large base barrel roll now red.
Yes. And
I
you
do-
can't make it a pushy dash.
I also want to point out where it says, while you move, you ignore obstacles. Does that mean during the getting your token phase? When you move, you go over the top of obstacles. Okay, that's fine. You move over the top of the obstacle. Your move is now over.
I think it would still apply in the sense that when you were stopped on an obstacle, you couldn't do actions, because that was why people used to try and barrel roll off them. And the crew card dash was kind of the opposite of pilot dash. Pilot dash was when you move, you ignore obstacles, and crew dash was when you shoot, you ignore obstacles.
Okay. When you move, you ignore obstacles, but you still have to be off an obstacle to shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I think... Yeah.
Look, and the other thing I think that is, again, which is interesting... you've got to focus, you've got to target lock, the red, and the ability to move the mobile firing arc. So this is another example. So you'll see with some of these ships how they've got that double arc. That's supposed to represent that they have more than one turret. So, the YT...
Yeah.
The 2400 has on the model it's sculpted that way, and the Falcon is supposed to have multiple stuff. So, yeah.
Does this mean it has multiple firing arcs? One can be at, let's say, 12 o'clock and one can be at 3 o'clock? Or does it mean that one is always at 12 and one is always at 6?
No, one's always at 12 and one's always at 6. So if you choose as your action to rotate it and face one to the left, it'll be facing to the right. So imagine a ship that we already know that has fore and aft, like the TIE SF or the Ark. It's that, except you can move them in a pair.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Wow, there's lots to do.
All right. Well, can we talk about the Y-wing for a minute, because the Y-wing has always been one of my favorites.
Absolutely.
Well, for example, in a recently brought out article, not in the unboxing video, Dutch Vander. After you perform the target lock action, you may choose one friendly ship at range 1 to 3. That ship may acquire a target lock on the object you locked, ignoring range restrictions. So they don't have to be in range of the thing you locked. They can lock. Object is a catch-all word that now means friendly, enemy, or just thing. So they can lock onto the same thing that you did, which is pretty good because focus fire, squad synergy. You're probably all going to be aiming at the same thing anyway. It can.
He moves quite late with a PS of 4. It's not PS anymore, is it?
Yeah, it's initiative.
Initiative.
So, initiative.
God, we're gonna have to learn to talk around that.
Exactly. Yeah. So initiative 4 out of 6 is still pretty high.
Yeah, that's what around like 6.
So they've got Y-wings now have red barrel rolls and red reload. So you have the option of making your Y-wing more of an ordnance carrier than a turret carrier. But I think they'll still be
bombs are a thing.
Bombs.
Reload now affects bombs.
Yes.
And bombs are part of the Y-wing, so you don't have to take them. Because what I find interesting about that and about the fact that this ship has red barrel roll is that I think they're moving away from, in the same way as moving away from push the limit, they're moving away from letting you put any action you want on any ship you want. Like Vader can't have engine boost anymore, which I'm a little bit upset about, but you can't just put barrel roll on any ship you like. I think they want to have a bit more control over what the ships can and can't do, because then you have to play the game a bit more. It's not about being clever about altering the game to how you want to play. You have to play within the game.
Now, some of you astute listeners might think, well, how come it doesn't have a turret? It does. It still has a turret slot, and you can still put a turret on it.
Correct.
And the turret itself will give the action of move turret.
Correct.
So when a ship comes down, you go, oh, why can't I move its turrets? Because it's on a different card.
Yeah, and look, I've seen the dorsal turret, which I think is a native 2 red, but actually you do get the range bonus if they get into range 1 as well. I think I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
the
dorsal turret.
Yeah, that's the dorsal turret.
All right, let's move on to an old favorite. Oh, it was the Dash Corin build.
Yeah.
That's the one that was really popular. Let's go talk about Corin Horn.
Good old Corin Horn and the E-wing. So
And the E-wing. Oh, that's exciting.
Keep talking.
Okay.
Yep.
At Initiative 0, you may perform a bonus primary attack against an enemy ship in your bullseye firing arc. Or, if you do, the target of the next planning phase gains 1 disarm token.
So if you do at the start of the next planning phase, you gain 1 disarm token.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So that sort of mimics his double tap, where you were disarmed for the next turn.
That's true.
Yep.
But it also stipulates you need to fly him better.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the bullseye firing arc,
yes,
you need to be right up and close. You need to make sure you are not missing. Yeah. And what's amazing, one of the things I'm really enjoying about this 2.0 is you can't boost to barrel roll anymore.
Yes.
Unless you're tie intercept.
Unless you're tie intercept or an A-wing.
The A-wing, I think, can barrel roll to boost.
Okay, well, in any way, what I'm saying is that you have to you have to be sure of what you're doing, and you have to have already thought about it. You can't. In 1.0, there was a lot of moves that you could boost and barrel roll and be in the right position.
Yeah.
This time, it's now you need to be right. You're gonna Core and Horn is going to definitely be a high risk, high reward ship.
Yeah.
But he always was. But now he's even more so.
And look, there's a couple of things which again reflective of the universal changes, the fundamental redesign here. The bullseye firing arc, you'll find that many abilities, both pilot abilities and upgrade abilities, are dependent upon this. So again, for me, this is reflective of what the designers are saying is you need to fly well. The game, I think, is, and this is where I'm most excited. I think it's getting back to more positioning.
Yeah.
Predator and Crackshot fall into that category really
Correct.
well. Like, instead of just being able to, you actually don't get that evade with Crackshot, or I just get to reroll anytime with Predator.
Correct.
The only one I'm not super happy about
is
Heavy Laser Cannon is now bullseye firing arc only. Like, that's
harsh.
That's a bit rough.
Yeah.
Like,
but look, I we'll see.
We just might not see it on the field.
We'll just have to see. And look,
cheap.
Good old, and we won't talk about it now, but Suntir Fels' ability also is dependent upon his firing arc as well.
Tough too.
I have not seen that.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
In the next show.
Yeah, it's in the next show. But look,
right.
the other thing is also you'll notice about the E-wing that it has had a slight boost in that it now has an extra hull.
It was ridiculous.
It had two hull.
before,
It was sort of like once you sort of got through the shields, scratch the paintwork, and the thing would explode in a fiery death ball.
Yeah, it was too expensive, and it only had two hull. Like, I don't. Yeah.
Let's talk about it's just stapled on experimental scanners.
Correct.
Yeah.
You can acquire target locks beyond range 3. You cannot acquire target locks at range 1. Whoa!
Yeah.
So does that mean...
Yeah.
It doesn't say beyond range 3 to a maximum, so does that mean that you can just get a target lock on the first turn?
Correct.
Yep.
What about in Epic? I mean, how long is it?
I don't think they're thinking about Epic.
Epic, no one thinks about Epic. I'm sorry.
I love Epic.
Yeah.
Great. An Epic table is like slightly less than 2 meters long.
Yes.
But an E-wing is just like, nah, I target lock you.
Look, what's interesting is how Core and Horn works in
Yes.
this. He comes in, right?
Yep.
He would boost into. He would want to be boosting into range 1,
Yep.
and he can't target lock anymore.
Correct.
Because now he's at range 1, he can't target lock. What that means is if you want to fly him, you need to target lock early, hit that ship and be, this is the one I want to take out.
And then get out.
On your next move, fly out of there, boost away, relock the ship.
Yeah.
So I think I think actually that was a brilliant insight. Actually, I think you've just nailed it there, and that's the kind of behaviour that they're trying to encourage here as well. I think that perfectly sums it
Better
up.
flying.
And it's about better flying.
Especially since you can't focus.
No.
Correct.
And focus and target lock together with the linked actions. You can't barrel roll a boost to focus.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I love this game, one of the reasons I fell in love with this game and played, I don't know, I've lost count of how many hours, is the rock, paper, scissors aspect of this game is think about what your opponent's going to do and beat that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And with removing that ability to boost, barrel roll, boost, take a million actions and kill you, you really have to focus on the dial and this
and positioning. No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's gonna, and that's actually I'm exactly the same. That's what I'm excited about. For me, it was like chess with spaceships.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Rather than I'm putting putting a big blobby model in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
And then 360 everything.
Yeah. It's really, really bringing it back.
Well, let me drop this into the conversation then,
Sure.
just then you guys can tell me what you think.
Is it a truth bomb?
No. It's just a thought. Like, I always used to, whenever I had the option of doing 2 actions in the game before, I would like to focus and target lock together.
Yes.
They're the 2 things you want together.
It's the most efficiency.
For the most aggressiveness. Yeah. Focus, target lock.
Yeah.
As far as I can see, just from
not a
looking
whole
around,
lot does that, does it?
I haven't seen any ships that you can focus and target lock together, which I think they want that. I don't think they want any ships to be just insanely powerful in that way. But I kind of feel like, and I agree with what you guys were saying about liking good flying to be rewarded. But if you're in such a situation that you can take focus and target lock in a turn and you don't need to reposition, haven't you flown well to be in that situation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. But those situations became less and less prevalent, especially with turrets and stuff. Like I focus target lock turret. Well, I mean, I'm just around you.
Yeah.
A good flying you, but you know, but I 100% agree with what you're saying. If you've managed to put yourself in a position in your forward-facing firing arc or in your bullseye firing arc, I mean, and you hit that, you know, target lock focus, that's the goal. That's the god move of the game. That's what you wanted. And towards the end of 1.0, you didn't see that a whole lot.
No.
You had things that like either will immediately get your target lock because whatever, you can just have it, or you'll have something that, you know...
There'll be dice modifiers.
Yeah.
Expertise, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like, so, you like, you know, you just... Look, and again, not to be looking back too much, not to be too salty, but you had so many combos and modifiers that, you know... like I said, you know...
I'll salt. Hang on, I'll salt.
Yeah, okay.
The salt is coming.
I am not going to miss expertise.
Yeah.
I tried not to talk about it too much just to keep a general tone of the show, but I didn't like expertise because it was expensive and it couldn't work if you were stressed, so those were ways that balanced it. But I feel like it ignored a fundamental part of the game, and not just in X-Wing, in any game. I don't like it when a core game mechanic can be ignored.
Yeah.
So I feel like part of X-Wing is deciding what token to take, deciding when to spend that token. But expertise was just like, oh, no, it's okay, those eyes are hits. Don't worry, it's fine.
I think maybe, I think you've touched upon something there, Lockie, which is about this redesign, Ibsy, because... I mean, ultimately, the what everybody was trying to do in 1.0 was reach the peak action economy and efficiency to have the best possible combination to guarantee the best possible, greatest percentage amount of... So what it removed was that element of to reduce chance to almost nothing. And so what happened is a lot of combinations were about removing the idea of chance and of luck and serendipity and all the rest of it. And when you think about what are the best games we've played, the ones where you rolled 3 hits and then you've rolled a 3 evade and everybody, you know what I mean?
Everyone
it's
throws
like
their hands up and it's like, damn!
Yeah,
When,
you know what I mean?
when
Like,
you're playing with a mate, it's like, I want to punch you in the head right now, but I can't because that was amazing.
but you know what it was? It was the drama, it was the excitement.
Yeah.
Whereas now you rock up and you go, I'll sit in front of your Fen Ghost and you will roll the things and nothing I can do will stop that 4 damage. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of, and then I think what was happening was that hyper efficiency was creating far more negative play experiences.
That's interesting you mentioned just taking the damage. Have you guys heard how Reinforce works now?
Yes, that's changing.
No, continue. I actually have, but I want to hear it. The listeners.
Yeah, for the listeners.
And this
there's people listening. Okay.
This is slightly relevant, I suppose, because the Ozatuk is on the Rebel faction.
Yep.
Huzzah.
Part of the Reinforce action is now Reinforce mitigates damage to a minimum of 1.
Yes. So you can still take damage.
So your Reinforce action ignores a damage in the same way as before, but if somebody hits you for 2, say, and
it drops down to 1.
Yeah.
But if someone hits you for 1...
So if you roll your dice and get an evade, and the Reinforce token used to go, okay, the other hit just flicks away, and you take 0 damage. No, you still take 1. So it's you can't use the Reinforce action to take no damage. It can still, it still flicks 1 away. So it's still good if you get hit by lots of damage.
Yeah.
But
Look, and I think, so that's what I mean. So I think what it is that. And again, I think what they've picked up in terms of design is that you're still getting rewarded. Like, you know, you've all had that experience where you roll 3 crits and you go, awesome. And then someone goes, they're flying a big hull ship and they go, evade, focus, reinforce.
Yeah, I did want to bring up crits. I know we're going on tangents, and we will get to Han Solo. I swear.
Oh yeah.
So, with crits, as I said earlier, a lot of ships are losing shield and gaining hull.
Yes, and this is important.
This is very important because crits have always been a really big thing in the game, and a really thematic thing. Like, oh, things explode. Your person's now blinded. Oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
They really want that to be more of a thing.
Yeah.
So what they've done is they've removed a couple in the damage deck. They've removed a couple of instant double damage. Okay, yeah, great.
Yeah.
And what they've done is they've kind of dialed down the catastrophe effects of certain cards that can be like, this happens and this happens, and you can't shoot anymore.
Yeah.
Basically they want more face-up damage cards, and they want there to be more drama, as you were saying, Mike. Like, this crit goes through. Whoa, that's happening. And working around that, which I'm really happy about. Let's move on to Han Solo, shall we?
Scoundrel for hire.
Scoundrel for hire. God, I really love these tags.
Yeah, I know.
It's Han Solo, Scoundrel for hire.
Okay, so he is initiative 6. See what I did there? I didn't say PS, I said initiative.
Yeah, this is going to take me a while.
I know, I'm doing that mental thing. So, now mine, again, part of the redesign is that 6s are supposed to be going to be rare. There's not going to be a lot of them.
I did hear that a lot of the people have said, if the person is in the movies, or it actually exists in the canon and is in the movies, and they're known as being a pilot, they'll be 6. If not...
Makes sense.
No.
That makes... I like it. I'm good with that. So that's why you see Dash at 5. That's why you see Corrin at 5.
Exactly. Corrin is a great example. He's 5.
Yeah. Actually, but he's an old EU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's an interesting thing you bring up. We'll talk about it more in the Imperial episode, but there's quite a few Imperial characters have been brought in from Rebels, because Rebels is sort of the new stuff that's current. Now, Jan is in this game, because we spoke about her a moment ago, but is like the Jan and the crew, it's the Jan and Kyle crew going to be in it? Like, how much are they going to use these characters that don't exist anymore?
I think the thing was that they drew upon the old EU because it was, before the Disney...
Yeah, before the new age.
Correct, exactly. So you had... And they weren't doing Clone Wars era either. So you had a limited pool, and you wanted to push out a lot of different ships and pilots, so they had to go into that back catalogue. But now that there's this new emergent EU under Disney, books, comics, animated television shows, movies, standalone movies, they've got a much deeper, richer trove to
what I'm also interested in is
through.
How many things have they lost the rights to use? I don't know if it's one, if it's any of them, or how much the authors have in particular. Like,
you sign them away.
Like the old EU is the old EU. And how much of that stuff did like Disney come back and say we're keeping the trademark for, and now you can use this trademark, or how much of it did they just go, I'm not going to...
Surely they bought everything.
No, Lucasfilm held the rights, so they would have purchased those rights with it. Which is why when you saw the Disney takeover, like in the comic world, Dark Horse was the comic people. They lost the Star Wars license.
Yes, they did.
Which went to Marvel, because Marvel sits under the House of Mouse.
Yes.
And you saw other things happening there as well.
Apparently there was a really good Maul comic that got cancelled.
Oh.
Yes, there was some actually really good, but they've actually taken a lot of the intellectual property and they're actually now republishing as Legends.
Excellent.
Well,
so they've kept it. So that's what I mean. They've kept it. Go. Tangents.
Oh my god,
what's this? Thrawn.
Heck of a tangent.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
Yes.
The character of Thrawn has been around for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
But he's met probably his widest audience now in Rebels. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll put my hand up and say I've never heard of Thrawn before Rebels.
Okay, well, Thrawn's been around for about 20 years. He was in a
I know about him now.
But,
before then, I was just like, who's this blue dude? Why are people what in the cinema like, oh, this is the reveal of Thrawn? I was like, yeah, and I'm like, it's a blue guy. Cool.
So there's a couple of series actually that kind of focus on Thrawn, and in one of them, because Timothy Zahn, the author who created him, Timothy Zahn really liked the Clone Wars period in the old EU before the prequels came out and everything. And so in his version in the Clone Wars, just high-ranking members of the military were cloned because they were really good, so more of them would probably be better.
That's
and
cool.
There's this one novel where Han and Leia find a village on this deserted planet populated exclusively by Cynthia Fels.
Oh, what do I do?
No, but it's fine though, because the war is over, the Fels are like, we don't want any of that. Leave us alone. We just like farm and stuff. Get out of our planet.
Oh no.
That's the name of the episode. Planet of Suntia Fels.
Planet of Sun
Planet of the Fels.
Planet of the Fels.
Let's get
You
back to
maniacs,
Han
you
Solo,
fool.
Scoundrel for Hire.
Yeah, so the YT-2400
Yes.
has the boost action. Now that's interesting because something that would crop up a lot in debates online would be people saying that large base ships shouldn't be allowed to have boost because a large base ship, even boosting straight forward, covers a hell of a lot of ground.
Yeah.
That covers
And-
3 extra.
Yeah, and one of the ways that the Shadowcaster would evade arcs was just by boosting straight. Like, you
Yeah.
can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread.
Gingerbread Shadow.
So, I mean, I could kind of go either way in large ships having boost, but it is red. But then there's the engine upgrade,
Which turns it
which
white.
turns it white.
And-
Oh, really?
But then
So-
again, there's no PTL, so it can't boost in something else.
No, and look, I think that's good balance. So for me, actually, you know what I was thinking about it today, like the engine boost. It's what it actually is. It's like it seems like a flavor, like from a flavor perspective, an actual modification.
Yeah.
I have I can boost, but I'm stressing my engine, so I'm gonna slap on a bit of nitro, and then I can
Yeah, no, I'm actually okay with this.
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard about that engine.
But also the thing is that's again about choice. You know what I mean? Like because it'll be priced.
And what
as-
it also
yeah.
does is it also allows
Yeah.
them to be very specific in which ships have it.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
You,
what I meant
you
saying
boost.
before.
Yes.
You boost with this Han Solo, right? You boost
Yeah.
with the YT 1300. That's great. You've boosted. You didn't move your firing arc because you weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
So
24, didn't I? That's right.
Correct.
So that's just I think it's going to be a really really good way to do it. You're very focused on which of these large base ships can boost and which of them just can't.
Yeah.
And yeah, hitting it on, and I think almost every boost is going to come out except for obviously small base ships and ones that would probably have normal native boosts.
Yeah.
They're going to be red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going
you
to
can pay to improve it. though.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what? Why would you?
Yeah.
You can't push the limit.
Yeah, actually, I suppose, and now that you mention it, it's a double cost. It's not only the points you pay to turn your boost from red to white, you also use your upgrade slot with that, and at the end of the day, is it worth it? for
Well,
that?
again, I guess it all comes down to there's so much we don't know about the game, about what modifications and does that. I mean, I could imagine. Okay, what I'm getting there is not being stressed. Okay, that you're paying for security of not being stressed.
So we've talked about
Yeah.
Han Solo. We've said his name several times. We've talked about him
Should do
having
his
a boost.
ability?
We should actually talk about his ability.
Yeah.
After you roll dice, if you're at range 0 of 1 of an obstacle, you may re-roll one of your dice. This
You may re-roll all of your dice.
Oh, this does not count as re-rolling for the purpose of other effects. What does that mean?
It says after you roll your dice, not after you roll your attack dice. His ability used to only be about attack. 'Cause
Correct.
I was confused for a second
Okay.
there. If you're at range 0 of an obstacle, that means you're touching an obstacle, means you can't shoot, but you can defend and re-roll your dice. Yeah, okay.
So I love this. This is very flavoursome. This is them flying through the asteroids and just shooting, going ping, 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 ping. Yes, Lockie has a look of.
Does this ability... Okay, this does not count as re-rolling for the purpose
Yes.
of other effects. Does that mean
You can
that
re-roll.
Han Solo is the first ship in the history of X-Wing to be allowed to re-roll the same dice more than once?
I'm going to say yes, which is
Ooh.
okay.
It
Because
fits
it's
with his
Han Solo.
Yeah, it's like Lando the gambler. His
Yeah.
his crew ability was really kind of gamblery, but the fact that Han was a gambler was never really brought
Well,
up. But-
initially Han Solo, you could choose to either re-roll all your dice or none of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay,
good.
that
That's
was
great,
initially it, but that isn't very good if you can't re-roll them again. So
Yeah.
basically, you're like, well, if you have a target lock, you have things, and you, as we said earlier,
Yeah.
towards the end of the game, you could get them super easy, and his ability would actually end up being worse.
Yes, true.
Actually, this goes with Empire Strikes Back as well, because he wants
Yes.
to be close to the obstacles, 3,720 to 1, never tell me the odds.
Correct, exactly.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's sort of like, yeah,
Nice,
so
nice observation. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And,
ask me how taxes work.
Err.
No, I still don't know. My brother's an accountant, and I don't
And
know.
again, can I just say, it's worth noting he does have that 180 arc thing, where you
Yeah.
can shoot out, so
Yeah.
it's all the rest of it. It's
So
got a
if
focus.
you're smart,
Yes.
what you can do is you could have it in your front-facing arc, boost past your opponent, and now you're in your rear-facing arc.
Yes.
But you have to be good for that.
But you're supposed to be Han Solo. You're supposed to
Exactly.
be. That's what I mean. Like, you
It's
have to be. Yeah, I like.
Shall we? Let's move on to one of my favorite ships from the Clone Wars, and I think it's
The Ark?
the only one. Yeah, the Ark.
The Arc 170.
Let's talk about Nora Wexley, Gold 9.
Yes.
That's something I didn't know.
Yes,
I love these
so
things.
Nora's come from the new EU in the Heir to the Empire series, the mother of Snap Wexley. So what do we know about the Ark? So not stat-wise, I'm not seeing too many changes. So basically 3 at the front, 2 at the back, 1 agility, 6 hull, 3 shield, so it's still tanky as.
You've lost the ability to change an eye to a crit at the rear arc.
That's actually the tail gunner situation. Does
But
that...
this will come in with gunners.
Yes.
Yes.
So apparently there's a new slot that's just called the Gunner slot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Gunner slot, all of its abilities are going to be often like make a second shot.
Yes.
And what's that? But it will often come at like some form of detriment.
Yeah.
Like the Bosk version of it is, if you fire a shot and you miss, you must fire again and you must take a stress. So there's going to be probably less of just basic gunner abilities, because apparently it was good. It was a really good ability. It was so generic you could do that. So let's talk about Nora Wexley. She will have a gunner slot.
Yes.
Yeah.
While you defend, if there is an enemy ship at range 0 to 1, it means includes ships that are bumping you.
Yep.
You may add one evade result to your dice results.
So less offensive, more defensive.
That's a lot less offensive.
It's the same ability as Nora Wexley will actually be available with the same pilot ability in a Y-Wing.
Oh, I like that.
cool.
Well, she's supposed to be in a Y-wing
So-
fluff perspective, yeah.
Now,
I think I prefer that in a Y-Wing.
That's the ability as she has now is, yeah.
Don't get too excited.
Look, it's.
I'm sorry,
Look,
it's not exciting.
Look, it's from an. Look, I think it's still. You still want to joust,
Yeah.
like with this.
Yeah, but
And this
it's
is
at
like-
range 0 to 1. That's
Yeah.
harsh.
Yeah, but that's also like the old Fen Rao in the Protectorate Starfighter. Like that encouraged you to kind of get into people's face.
Well, there's a good example.
Yeah.
The new Protectorate Starfighter. It's not called the Protectorate Starfighter anymore. It's called the Fangfighter.
that's true, actually.
It's actually been retired. Yeah, no more
Yeah.
Protectorate Starfighters.
Yes.
Okay. But their ability is if your opponent is shooting at you in range 1, you add a evade.
Evade.
That's it.
Yep.
This is basically that was Nora Wexley's, except other people can shoot at you, and as long as you're near an enemy,
Correct.
it comes off.
Yeah. So that's
It's okay. It's just not as good as it was.
I miss
No.
the aggressiveness.
Yeah, I know.
I like that there's some ships in the game were defensive and some were aggressive, and Nora could kind of be both, but I liked the aggressiveness of it. But,
We should also talk about what it can do. It can focus, it can target lock,
and a red barrel.
and a red barrel
Yeah.
roll.
Yep.
Once again, repositioning is available and it's possible, but you pay for it.
But
Yeah.
the other thing is, look, I love the 170, and I always treat it as a brawler. Like it's meant to be in there.
Let's move on to Garvin Dreas.
Yes. So he's
Red Leader.
Yes, Red Leader.
also available in X-Wing and an Arc 170.
Yep.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Yep. So Red Leader.
This cat is going nuts.
Yeah, that's a list.
Parkour.
The cat is. Yeah, the cat's all over the place. So Garvin Dreas. So he's Red Leader. After you spend a focus token, you may choose one friendly ship at range 1 to 3. That ship gains a 1 focus token.
That's awesome.
So it's the same ability he had before, just the writing.
They've cleaned up the
wording
writing.
is better now.
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
FFG have actually said that they had to write better. Yeah. Write good.
I need to write good.
It makes sense the way they've structured the fluff that Garvin would fly an Arc.
Yeah.
Because he was an old veterans, and the Arc 170 is an old veteran, so
Yep.
yeah, it makes sense.
No, I dig it. Let's move on to...
Should we talk about the B-Wing?
Let's talk about the B-Wing. That's exciting.
I know somebody here's a fan.
someone here is excited. How are you feeling, Lockie?
I
Have they
actually,
rustled your jimmies?
Yeah, I actually don't know.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Look, X-Wing 2nd Edition, I am incredibly excited before. I like, borderline love everything I've seen. I don't want to complain because I've been given so much.
You better enjoy it. You better like it.
With the B-Wing, I kind of wanted more though. Like the dial is basically the same, except it's been given
The one Talon roll.
a 1-speed Talon roll.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Don't get me wrong. Like, it is pretty cool. It's unique. It's gonna play differently to so many other
It's
things.
still slow, though.
It works with how the B-Wing would work. It would just kind of flip around. But like
that
the
two-barrel
short
rough.
turning around speed was kind of part of its problem. Like the 2K turn was part of the problem. I kind of feel like it needed something longer, like to be able to make space between the opponent and yourself. Like, and it doesn't have reload, so you can't ordnance. So you're sort of maybe focusing on cannons.
Yeah.
The heavy laser cannon is now bullseye firing arc only. So unless they're going to invent new cannons, or
They're gonna have to.
I mean, it's not, and it doesn't have any special ability, made into the card like other ships have.
Yeah.
Like the B-Wing is basically the same, except for it now has 4 hull and 4 shield instead
Once
of
again, to prove me
5
wrong.
3 and 5. You're right. 'Cause
No,
it used to have 5 shield and 3
3
hull.
hull, yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
gets
So
it.
the entire HP is still 8, but it's just different, and I don't begrudge that. That's fine. But yeah, I guess I was just expecting them to do a bit more with it.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, it's functionally the same except for the 1-speed.
I
talent
will.
roll.
I will probably say it'll have a crew slot.
Yeah, that it will. It'll have the crew already in it,
Maybe
but
a gunner.
it kind of a gunner. Like,
Well, the EU of Rebels, there was a gunner slot at the bottom of the ship.
yeah, but I mean, if the gunner, so far the gunner abilities I've seen, they involve rotating the firing arc, which this ship doesn't have a rotating firing arc.
I hope there's a gunner that's like you may find.
Yeah,
you
look,
have the aggressor ability.
it's going to come down to cost as well. So
Yeah.
it could be that if it's look, I don't think we've seen any of the pilot abilities or anything, or any of the named pilots shown.
How much
Lucky,
more-
I think a little black.
Yeah, look, I still love it, and it'll be easier. Look, it'll be more survivable in 2nd edition than 1st because the stuff that was oppressing it will be gone. So don't get me wrong, I'm still excited to fly the B-Wing again. I guess I just thought it was going to do kind of funky stuff, and it seems like it's not going to.
All right, let's go. Let's hammer through this. We're gonna do this real
All
quick.
right.
Lothal Rebel. Oh damn! It's
So-
lost two health.
Has it?
Yeah, so it's
Well,
the
it was
ghost.
16, wasn't it?
Was it?
I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
it
know.
was
I
16.
never really hung out with the Ghost very much.
It can now do a focus, a target lock, and a reinforce.
Yes,
And that's that makes sense.
and tail gun when you have a dock ship.
While you
So
have
they're
a
baked
dock,
in the title. Yeah.
while you have a dock ship, you have the primary rear firing arc of the ship that is equal to the docked ship's primary
So
value.
you can't just fire 4 backwards
Correct.
automatically.
So
Yeah,
that's
all
changed.
right. That's alright.
So you can, depending if you go with the sheathopede, you get the 3 forward. If you go with the old shuttle, you get the 2. You get 3 as well,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
Alright.
no, it's the other way around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh no, the
The
sheathpede's
sheathpede's
2 red.
2.
Yeah,
yeah.
Sheathpede's 2 and the other one's
Well, actually,
3.
that makes it
That's pretty
more of
cool.
a choice.
Yeah. Well, can we have a quick chat then about the Sheathopede? The only pilot so far they've spoiled is AP5.
Escaped analyst droid.
When you coordinate, if you chose a ship with exactly 1 stress token, it can perform actions. Now that is a slight nerf to the ship that's getting coordinated, but it's a buff to AP5 personally, because he doesn't have to cop a double stress. Now there's a couple, and one of the crits in the upcoming damage deck involves you taking 2 stress. So I'm wondering if 2nd edition is not going to have the Inspiring Recruit crew card.
Probably not.
But
It may
anyway,
come down somewhere down the track, but it probably doesn't need to.
the Sheathpede has white coordinate on the Decimator. I believe it's red.
Correct.
The Sheathpede now has a 1 backwards. I don't know why exactly.
Because
but
that's
there you go.
awesome.
Unless it's intended to back up into the Ghost, but
Yeah, because there is going to be a mechanism where you can dock and undock.
Oh, really?
So you can,
so
Cool.
so that's cool.
AP5
Yeah.
doesn't have focus because he's a droid. Any droid pilots, such as the IGs in the Scum faction,
Calculate.
they now have the calculate action, which makes sense because droids don't concentrate. Their brains just
They
go,
calculate.
okay, this is what we're doing now. one spend of one token changes one eye instead of all of them, but you can spend multiple of those tokens if you have them.
It's very rare for a lot of ships. They're one of the things I wanted to get rid of was token stacking. It's very rare to have multiple focuses because you're supposed to be focusing. Calculate is one of the only exceptions where there's quite a lot of ways out there to get multiple calculate tokens on top of each other, especially the aggressor, which is in the scum faction, which we won't talk about.
Yeah.
I just really appreciate the fact that calculate token it looks like a robotic eye, and it's okay.
Oh yeah, that's.
Let's talk about it has a with AP5. It's built-in stapled on card is comm shuttle. While you are docked, your carrier ship gains a coordinate. Before your carrier ship activates, it may perform the coordinate action. That's pretty cool.
That's potentially quite powerful.
Yeah, you'll lose
on the ghost,
the ghost. But you will lose AP5's ability while it's docked.
Yes.
But you will gain the coordinate action.
Yeah.
And the ghost in particular probably doesn't really need to take many actions because it's firing so much out the front.
Yeah.
Let's move on to what else?
Let's see. I've been slowly deleting these things as we've been going along. So the two remaining things are
There's an A-wing.
The A-wing.
A-wings.
Yes.
Here we go.
Arvel Krennic. Wait, no, it's not Krennic. Oh no, what's his name?
Arvel Crinid.
Oh, that's just there to annoy me. Green leader in a red ship.
Yes.
Okay, he has 5 actions he can take. He can take focus, he can take evade, he can take target lock, he can take barrel roll, he can take boost.
Yes.
Vectored thrusters. After you perform an action, you may perform a red boost action. So you can take the target lock, you can take the focus, you can take the evade, and then you can boost.
Correct.
You can take the barrel roll, and then you can boost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you boost twice?
No, because if you boost once, you'd be precluded from boosting again because... unless they change the rules to allow you to do the same action twice, it seems unlikely.
Yeah. Look, stats-wise, no changes to the A-wing. It's still shooting out a couple of Ps from the front.
That's a shame. Actually, no, that's not a shame because they've really dialed back a lot of stuff, and I think that's okay to keep the A-wing.
True.
And they've made it more maneuverable. They've made it the same maneuverable. It's just nothing else is that maneuverable anymore.
Yeah.
So it's allowed to
catch.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's and look, I haven't flown one for a while, but A-wings and interceptors are my two favourite ships to fly, just purely for flying because they're so fast and manoeuvrable. Arvel's ability is you can perform primary attacks at range 0. So again,
Amazing.
yes,
Touching, yeah.
Yes.
Right into him.
That's right. So fly into that Death Destroyer's
Star Destroyer.
bridge,
Star Destroyer,
Destroyer's bridge.
and destroy another Star Destroyer. Wow.
Yep.
It's the butterfly effect.
Yep. Now, if you would fail a boost action by overlapping another ship, resolve it as though you were partially executing a maneuver instead.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this because it's just like, oh no, I've got a boost into you. I failed the boost.
Whatever, I'm just gonna-
I run straight into you. Oh, what? I can still shoot and you can't? Oh, well, what a doozy of a pickle we're in.
But it's great because that boost can be done after a focus or target lock.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can choose your maneuver.
Yes.
Go a little bit short just in case you aren't sure where they're going to be. Focus and boost it. Well, you shouldn't really need to focus. We're going to call this point blank range, I think. But...
This is a ship that I'm really, really happy for this, as you can probably tell.
Yes.
This is going to make the A-Wing just fun to fly again.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 red dice was never a lot. It probably won't be a lot going onwards, except that...
At range 1 or
Except
0.
there's going to... this guy in particular,
Yeah.
but putting aside that the A-Wings that don't have this special ability, it'll probably be okay because there's going to be less automatic damage mitigation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because A-Wings died in my heart
Yeah.
when X7 came out.
Correct.
And I played a game where I was flying A-Wings, my opponent was playing
Yes.
TIE Defenders, and
Oh,
I realized that I could not kill them.
You couldn't even hit them.
Because I could hit them with 2.
Yeah.
Even if I rolled 2 crits,
Yes.
they were going to spend the evade token.
Yeah.
One
Yep.
was going to go away. With 3
Yeah.
green dice and a focus, they were probably going to mitigate 1, and
Yeah.
it just couldn't be done.
Yeah.
But now,
Yeah.
maybe?
Maybe, and especially if you can run straight into them.
Yeah.
So good.
Defend this.
Defend. Alright, let's move on to crew cards. Everyone...
Sabine Wren.
I get it, guys.
Yes,
Fine.
yes.
No!
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Finally.
I love Sabine.
No.
She was so great.
No.
What was your favourite thing? The way she was really oppressive, or the way she made the entire faction about bombs?
Both.
Both wrong. That's a wrong answer.
The way it made rebels seem like more scum than scum.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's damage for you from the other side of the board. Oh, look, there's more damage
there's
for
more
you
of
from
it.
the...
Sabine Wren. Oh, this is...
Look
this
under
is
your
still
spaceship, there's more
okay.
damage.
It's not amazing. It's still okay.
Yep.
Setup. Place 1 ion, 1 jam, 1 stress token, and 1 tractor beam token on this card. After a ship suffers the effects of a friendly bomb, you may remove 1 ion, jam, stress, or tractor beam token from this card. If you do, that ship gains a matching token. It's okay.
I don't mind it because it's control and it's your choice of.
But it's only control over small ships. 1 ion beam, 1 ion token will not affect a medium ship and will not affect a large ship.
Okay, the ion will be retained by whatever ship it goes on.
So you're going to have an ion stress build.
Jam affects anybody, stress affects anybody,
Yeah.
and tractor token, alright, on large base ships probably doesn't make that big a deal because they don't have high agility anyway. But a medium base ship, even though I never played against one, I still don't mind knocking them down a peg.
Yeah. Look, I think stress probably is potentially the most valuable of those.
But you
effects
only
there.
get the one.
True.
Why is Lucky throwing
Second
his hands
edition
up?
probably doesn't have Stress Ezra. I like Stress Ezra.
I didn't like stress, Ezra.
So it's a control. It's like a higgledy-piggledy control.
Yeah,
But-
but it's also there's what it is, and again I think the theme is it's about choice. You have to choose. You have to make a.
Yeah, but I just don't see her being as big a thing.
I
guess.
think we're going to say goodbye to Sabine.
I'm sorry, Sabine Wing is over now.
Yes.
It's 2.0 now. I guess that brings us to the end of this show. This segment. Have we all talked about the... We will talk about it later.
Really? Can we find 2 minutes for... where have I put him?
What have you done? Come
I
on!
can't find... Here it is. Okay. We'll get through
2
it
minutes
real
counting
quick.
down, go.
Okay, Han Solo, the
Yes.
gunner card. A
Yes.
specific kind of crew gunner. During the engagement phase, at Initiative 7, you may perform a mobile firing arc attack. You cannot attack from that mobile firing arc again this round.
So it means you can fire from the back and the front.
Yeah. So the engagement phase in Initiative 7 means you'll be firing first. Haha, that's a Han Solo joke.
I see what you did there.
So it makes your turret really powerful. It doesn't rotate that turret, but it makes it really powerful. Because my understanding is
this is going to be good?
why
The Hawk.
Oh, come
It
on.
pulls a fire out the front.
It's the Han Solo Hawk meta.
Oh, it's going to be great.
So yeah, Han's gonna make your mobile firing arcs awesome. Because my understanding is the Luke one lets you rotate your firing arc in the engagement phase,
correct.
which is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But that will be expensive. I'm
Yeah,
having
probably.
Yeah.
All right, quickly, we should also run through the U-Wing. Where are you? Where are you?
The U-Wing's the same, except the pivot wing title you can rotate 90 degrees instead of 180.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
There's been some good buzz about the U-Wing, but we shall see.
All right, and last one, Warden Squadron Pilot, which
The
is
K-Wing.
the K-Wing. Hot damn, it has a focus, target lock, a slam action, a reload action, and a move target, and it fires out from 180 degree. Sorry, 180 back and front, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. The dial is effectively the same.
The dial is the same.
Oh, fantastic.
But yeah, the fact that you can reload bombs and missiles and things will give you a reason to not necessarily slap a turret on it automatically, and it will make generics viable. Because I'll give you $10 if you can tell me the named K-wing pilot that wasn't Miranda.
Suku or something?
I've actually
Gugu?
flown them once,
Yeah.
and I don't remember. It starts with a G.
Nah.
What's it
Yeah.
start with?
E.
It's
Oh,
Kesku or
Ev-
something.
Yeah.
E-
See, you were
What is
close.
it?
I was close. Kesku
Anyway,
or something.
It's,
I know.
I think
It's
it was
it's
Esej Tukatu or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I was way off.
Did
Okay.
you just sneeze?
All right.
Bless you?
Let's move on to lore.
To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art.
And we're back. I had a glass of water. Mike has some tea or coffee. Is that tea or coffee?
It's actually decaf coffee.
Rough.
I know, man.
Okay.
No judgment.
No judgment. I won't lie. I'm on a massive coffee kick right now. It's just due to the fact that I have to wake up at 6 in the morning. I was a student. I was waking up at 10. Now at 6. It's terrible. Sorry. Tangents. Lockie, it's time for a show.
Owen's dancing on the ceiling.
Okay, so yeah, I hope I tried to control myself in this episode. When I feel like whenever we have to talk about Rebels, I kind of control it like the preacher at the royal wedding.
It just goes on for 13 minutes when he was allotted 2.
Yeah. How was it all that the camera panned in on all the British faces and they were looking at each other like, what is happening?
Dude, is it what? Should we be laughing? Should we applaud him off the stage? Yeah, good. Love is love. Go on. Yep. Fire. It heats food. Sure does. Get off the stage. You're ruining this for everyone.
So, this week's lore section sneaks in on a technicality.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because I'm doing Nim,
Okay.
who will not be in the Rebels in second edition.
You're treading on my
So
toes here.
I'm doing him while I
You're
can.
treading on my toes.
All right.
This is like your farewell Nim.
He's doing this so I can't. I'm not allowed to. It's fine.
No, I'm doing this so you don't have to.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So Nim is a Fioran, and I think I said this once before. For anyone who's never actually seen him, if you've seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movie with Davy Jones, he looks kind of like that. He's sort of blue-grey. His head is covered in tentacles, and his face has tentacles. So Fioran, and they're from Odrin, which is a homeworld that they adopted because there was some catastrophe on their original homeworld, which is now unknown. Nobody knows what it is or where it is. But they are an introspective species. They mostly look after themselves. They're not especially friendly, so people perceive them as being selfish. So I suppose that kind of mentality would kind of a natural fit for a character who ends up being a pirate.
Oh, so he's a pirate like Davy Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is Davy Jones in space.
So they're an interesting species. They have a unique biology that they actually get stronger with age instead of weaker. And they live for about 400 years. So if you
I like them.
How does that work?
Honestly, I have no idea.
So they're like getting stronger and stronger and stronger. One day they just die?
Because they're too strong for life.
Oh, I'm too hardcore for this world. Take self out with axe.
That was a sign of happiness. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. They must be like made of stone or something, and they just harden over the years until.
I will say Nim does
crack.
look like he's on the juice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty ripped.
Oh my god, I just can't imagine like these like weakling things like the it's a weakling thing and someone was just like, alright, and over time you just get stronger and stronger and stronger. It's like, wow.
If you pick on a Fioran at school,
Be care of those who be worried about those who pick on school. This is him now. Feel all jet.
yeah, exactly.
But you're like 80 and he rocks up and he's like buffers.
Oh no.
Although, I mean, Fioran, apparently they live for 400 years, so really the only people who are going to be having a grudge match is a Fioran and a Wookiee.
Probably.
So, wait a second, I would watch that.
Yeah.
I would pay to see that.
Yeah.
Alright.
Davy Jones versus Chewbacca.
Yep.
And on a topic unrelated to Nim, but I found in my research that I think is cool, they had a structure on their planet which they called the Sanctum of the Exalted, which the Fioran are very rigid people. Like, unless you were supposed to go in there, you didn't go in there.
Okay.
So the Sanctum of the
cool.
Exalted was not something just for the general public, and they left it alone. And there was a Fioran Jedi Master, which is very rare. Not many Fioran Jedi Masters ever. He kept Sith holocrons in it.
Oh, you'd have to be selfless as well. Ideally, you're a selfless Jedi, and then that goes against that whole them being selfish.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Probably why
Yeah.
there's not many of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you told a Fioran you were drowning and asked him to throw you a rope, he'd throw you both ends, which I suppose is probably not a Jedi thing. Okay, so as we know from the game, Nim is the leader of the Loch Revenants. The Loch Revenants are his pirate band. So, and I looked this up. The word revenant means someone who has returned from the dead, especially to have allegedly returned from the dead. So,
It's a cool name.
yeah, so if someone thought you were dead, but you weren't, and you came back, like, surprise! Then, yeah, revenant.
So he's a big, blue, ripped space vampire.
yeah.
Also,
Which-
he named his pirate band a really good death metal band name.
Yeah, yeah.
We are the Loch Revenants. Good night.
Actually, one thing I realized this after I'd looked it up. Anyone who is sort of at all versed in the lore of Warhammer 40k may have come across the Eldar Revenant Titans, which are, I think, empowered by the souls of
their dead
of the
ancestors.
dead. Which, so Revenant, it made sense, and I thought that was really cool. So, Loch is a planet in the Carthag system, hence Carthag pirates, who are one of the generics. So Loch is a dusty sort of backwater, like the Old West. There's not much going on there. Yeah, I suppose it is kind of a bit like that. So Loch was where Nim grew up. So presumably at some point he got there from Odrin, and he grew to despise the Trade Federation because the Trade Federation occupied Loch before the Battle of Naboo, and they used it to test their droid starfighters.
Oh.
Mm.
The vulture droids? Or the actual, the big uns?
Oh, all of them.
Oh. And what? And they were just like, this place is full of hardcore people.
I think it was
let's see if we
probably
can out-hardcore
because
them.
there weren't that many people there at all.
Ah.
Kind of like why they find crops of desert in the real world to drop nukes on, I suppose. I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, and something that made it worse, and this will sort of tie into a bit later on. After the rise of the Empire, the Imperials occupied Loch. Okay. So
wow.
Nim is kind of like, you guys, this is my planet. Get off my planet, you guys. But
that's why he's a rebel.
Well, that's the thing, is that the best you could say of Nim was that he was a rebel sympathizer. Okay. He was never in the Rebel Alliance, I think. And so my theory is the only reason...
Should never have been.
Well, yeah. I think the reason the Skurg was brought into the Rebel faction in X-Wing is because at the time, the Rebels needed what the ship was. Because the Y-Wing couldn't natively bomb or barrel roll.
Yep.
And even though it could have a turret, and the Skurg could bomb and barrel roll. Yeah. So I think that was why they brought it in, and why now that the Y-Wing can bomb and barrel roll, why they'll just take him out.
Yeah.
Of the faction, because he's no longer needed.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't use Nim very much when I played, and when I didn't use his special ability. I just used him for the platform.
Yeah. I used to just whack VI on him and
I mean,
and laugh and bomb.
Yeah, exactly. Much. Like if you used Nim as a turret carrier, and he was an excellent turret carrier, you weren't bombing with him. Therefore, you were paying for a special ability you weren't using. Which I don't think the Rebels will miss him particularly.
No more Nim Miranda builds.
Yeah.
Aww.
All right.
Oh, and no one cried at all.
So he was orphaned at a young age and raised by pirates. So he was pretty much always gonna turn out like he was. That his species or his culture combined with that sort of was almost inevitable. And he spent a lot of time in places like Nar Shaddaa. Which I think from what I was reading isn't super far away from Loch, and
for people who don't know, it's it's one of the Hutt sort of planets, and it's the Las Vegas of Star Wars.
Oh, sweet!
Yeah. Except even
except not the new one.
Not the new one.
Which
no,
is
no.
terrible.
Canto
No,
Bight.
it's not
Yeah.
Canto. No, that's
That
like
place
that's
sucks.
that's more like a upmarket kind of resort. No,
That's
no,
a resort.
That's you know.
Canto Bight, more like Canto Blight on the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah. That was... yes, that they weren't actually laughing. Owen just edited that laughter in for somewhere else. Okay, so on Nar Shaddaa, the smuggler's moon, he would fight in the blood pits.
Awesome.
Which is kind of like a
God, this guy's
Thunderdome
so
style
metal.
arrangement. Yeah. Well, he lost an arm.
Oh, then let me guess. He grew it back.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, he just got so angry at the stump. He was like, "Grow back, arm!" And it just did. No, he has a prosthetic arm. But,
I was going to say he just picked it up and stuck it back on.
when I grow to 300, the body will grow back. So
the Wookiee Neurorian blood match was a thing.
yeah. So in
That's so cool. I love this dude now.
yeah.
this guy's great.
So in the
So
blood
metal.
pits, he once beat a Trandoshan.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes.
Oh,
So-
did he beat him with his own arm?
Nim's own arm.
He just rips off his own arm and just beats the guy.
I'm so mad.
This is what you get. This is what you get. Welcome to Nar Shaddaa. So
Are you not entertained? Oh, I'm sorry. We should really continue.
no, that's all right. That's all right. No, actually, you guys should really help me pad this out as much as I can, because really, there's no end to Nim's story, so I can't just be like, this is Nim, the end. So
And
basically,
today he is still being super awesome and
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
in the
So-
fighting pits of Nar Shaddaa.
so I'm just gonna try and give you some backstory
No,
and the
it's
cool
good, man.
tidbits, and hopefully that'll be enough. But so yeah, bashing a Trando, it gets you respect among pirates. So, like, yeah, this young guy growing up in the fighting pits and doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
He earned a tattoo.
I was going to say, I was actually thinking, please let him have tattoos.
Yeah, he does. So you would have
Like a
seen.
90s tribal.
I was going to say, no, he's got a tramp stamp, like. Just he's got a butterfly just above him.
In my culture, this is terrifying.
He's got a star viper there. A star viper there.
I swear, in my culture, this is very scary.
This is like Superman. You know, on my planet, it's not an S. It means hope. He's like in the blood pits. It means strength.
Everywhere else, it's well, buddy. That's just a butterfly.
All right. So you would have seen the tattoo. I think
So
it's
good.
in some of the artwork in the game.
Yeah.
It's sort of a circle. It's sort of
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow.
yeah. It's kind of it's.
And
sort
actually,
it's
it
like
almost is a butterfly.
Almost just a butterfly.
It's like a tentacled face kind of
Yeah.
symbol.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get back to this in a second. But at the time he was given the tattoo, the image itself was meaningless, other than you're awesome and you want a
Yeah.
tattoo.
Cool, bro.
Cool story.
So he formed the Lock Revenants with this loyal following that he got, and they were so loyal to him that they participated with him in small campaigns against the Trade Federation.
Mm-hmm.
So he eventually became so well known that he was sought out by a Biff, an engineer named Jenkins. Now, Jenkins worked for the Nubian Design Collective. They're the people who made the ships for, among others, the Naboo. Like you might remember what.
Oh, yeah.
and we got lots of that.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
So now the Nubians, they were excellent at making ships, but they maybe weren't super great at business.
Yeah.
In the sense that they went to the Naboo and they said, "Hey, we have made specifically for you an incredibly heavily armed and armored fighter." The Naboo were like, "Guys, we're pacifists. We don't want that." And so yeah, it'd be like Macca's pitching heavy to vegetarians.
Yeah.
Like, McDonald's, that is,
Yeah.
pitching heavy to vegetarians. Like, guys, your audience, please.
Someone in marketing got fired.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
exactly.
someone really screwed up. We spent billions on this very heavily armored and very powerful ship. Cool.
Yeah, so amazingly, they actually weren't able to sell it on. So the Skurg kind of sat in mothballs for years and years, and eventually Jenkins went, "I'ma steal that." And so Jenkins got in touch with Nim, and he was like, "Hey, pirate, do you want to steal an awesome spaceship?" And Nim just goes, "Yes."
Excuse me, you had me at pirate.
All right, so they steal this ship, and I think I told you guys in a previous episode that the video game that the Scourge was introduced in also introduced the bomblet generator, which kind of bled into
So
X-Wing.
Jedi Starfighter, is that correct? Or Star Wars Starfighter, correction. Sorry, yes, I just looked that up.
Nim is one of the player characters you can use to help defend Naboo.
Oh, cool.
And the bomblet generator was this revolutionary technology that used power, excess energy from the ship's reactor to make energy bombs. I think in 2.0, you sacrifice a shield and you can make another bomb.
Oh, okay.
I think it's how the bomblet generator is going to work moving
Okay,
forward.
so you just poop out energy.
Great.
So
That's not going to be good at all.
the bomblet generator deserved to die. So it was...
shots fired here!
So he renamed the ship the Havoc, and the symbol that he painted on the ship and the symbol that the Lock Revenants would eventually fight and fly under was the tattoo that he got in the blood pits.
So the lower back tattoo is now on his spaceship.
Precisely.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
So the lower back, the lower fuselage tattoo. So although he never openly supported either side in the Galactic Civil War, you would say that he unofficially supported the rebellion, because whenever he had the chance to go looting, he mostly chose Imperial targets.
Mostly.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's kind of a middle finger salute to government and the man. But also, I mean, let's face it, the Imperials probably had better stuff to steal.
Yeah.
Like, the rebels are a ragtag organization to begin with. Like,
They've only got stolen stuff, just stealing stolen stuff.
Don't
Just go at the
add a
source.
middleman, just steal Imperial stuff. But if rebel pilots ever found themselves lost on Locke, where apparently there was a labyrinth, he would help them. Like, he would get people of his to help
That's
people
very
of
much
theirs
on one side then.
Yeah, but the thing is that it is kind of tacit support, I suppose. But Han and Chewie did officially try to recruit him, and he rejected that offer. He gave them some weapons, but they said, "Look, do you want a rebellion?" And he was like, "Nah."
No, we could.
So he and the Empire had an agreement that they wouldn't kind of meddle in each other's affairs. But both parties frequently broke that agreement. Yeah. The Empire would be like, "We won't send agents," and they did. And he was like, "I won't steal from you," but he did. And so that's actually it.
That's good.
I know that's not a very neat ending, but that's just a bunch of cool stuff.
Maybe he'll come up in the new game, the new show. What's it called? Resistance. Did you hear about it?
Hey, yes. The I believe it's anime style.
Anime style.
It's about 6 or 7 years after the
and it's based. It's going to be based on like the spaceships.
Yeah,
which will be cool.
Right.
We're going to see lots of it in X-Wing. So maybe he'll turn up there. Maybe there'll be an end of a story there.
Yeah. Well, he would be in Legends, so maybe not super likely, but they definitely have that option.
I want to see him in a Nashadar bar on a stage with his death metal Lock Revenants. You know, that's a scene. I need that scene.
Yeah.
I am wondering. I know that FFG has like a role playing game, and they often create characters for the role playing game and give them the story, and some of them actually even bleed over to X-Wing and other places.
Sunny Bounder.
That's
a classic.
So, do you think it'll ever be likely to see Legends characters come back in role-playing games or in other formats of FFG and have their story finished?
I'll play pretty much anything that has Kyle Katarn in it. So
look, I think
just telling you, FFG, this is a thing you can do it.
But I think, both FFG, but in particular, I think even Lucasfilm have cottoned on to the fact that there are beloved characters. Thrawn is a classic example of that. They will, and there's a huge back catalogue, and there's actually some good stuff in there. So they'll rifle through it.
Kathleen Kennedy could see it too.
Well.
I'm sorry, there's so much salt here. Alright, let's move on to the end of the show.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
It's the end of the night. that was a really enjoyable episode.
That was good fun.
It's really put the fire in our belly.
Yes.
X-Wing 2.0. I'm really happy with it. And as we always do, we like to end the night with some shout outs to the lovely people who have said hello to us. Firstly, we'll start with Stephen Honey. I wanted to say this one first because I can actually say your name, Stephen Honey. And he said, "Top cast, gents."
Thank you.
That is very, very thank you very much. Yes.
No, we're very humble, honey.
Oh God.
Stephen Seor of the Seor Family Jedi wrote a blog post on the second edition, and we got a shout out on that. So I saw that and I appreciated it. So thank you. We all appreciated it, I should say.
Yes.
And I have a
Get
special
our names out there. Come
yes.
on. We just beat 500. Let's get to 1,000.
I think
End of the week, we can do it.
Yes, we can. Leo Skelly, who is a gentleman and a scholar, he raises a very pertinent point. He asks, why did they invent a new TIE fighter for Rebels when they could have just used the TIE Hunter? Yes, god damn it. Second edition. I want to see it.
Yeah,
TIE fighter made of knives. Come on, FFG.
But it makes so much sense. It has Hunter in the name, and the Inquisitor hunts things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Missed opportunities.
So people in the audience are probably thinking, will I automatically get a shout out on Hell of a Pilot if I reference the TIE Hunter?
Yes, you will.
Like, yeah.
Michael, make damn sure of it. Q2 tomorrow, where it's just like 30 comments. TIE Hunter, TIE Hunter, TIE Hunter. Damn it!
I will read every one of them. I will, if it takes me 12 hours, I will read out every reference.
And I will record it.
Yes.
Joshua Snyder sent us the damage deck and some details about second edition. And that's good. Thanks, Josh, because I even mentioned this today in the exact podcast. In this exact podcast. This is help from you. Help us, we help you. Tell us, everyone, about the different damage things, the different things the damage deck does, and how it's kind of been dialed back, but as a result of it being dialed back, there's more hull to be
Chewed through.
Chewed through, yeah.
So some just wacky stuff can happen to the game. Like, yeah.
Another good friend of the show, Jamie Cooper, sent us 150 photos of all the different things. Jamie is a legend. He's always sending us stuff because I think he's in a different time zone, so he gets the
Scotland.
jump. He's in Scotland.
So
Jamie, we love you.
Was he watching the and he was just like screenshot.
So
oh man, you're a legend.
We got all this pile of pictures, and I actually asked him, was this one send or did you send us 150? He was like, 150. It was no problem. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, cheers, bro.
We love Jamie.
So, Jacob Sittel, and I'm sure that's not how your name is pronounced because you're from Sweden. So, sorry, man. But Jacob Sittel, he sent us love from Sweden and an idea for a meme. I won't tell you what that idea was. I haven't made it yet, but I'm going to. Listeners, please send us ideas for memes. I know I keep saying that, but do it.
You've only said it once before.
Please.
Yeah. I'm helping now.
Yeah.
I'm putting in the little memes.
Yes.
I helped.
Yes.
Tanner Chappell liked another name I can actually say. Tanner Chappell liked 28 of our posts, and I really enjoy this because every time I wake up in the morning, often these people are in different time zones.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where he was.
He's from Texas, I think.
Texas. Yeah, that's probably explains
awesome.
why. You wake up in the morning and you're like. You look at your phone and little Facebook icon has 30 things. You're like, oh, what's happened? Turns out it's just people like our stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So we're thinking getting people liking us on the Podbean.
Yes, thank you.
And following us on Podbean. So you can find us in Podbean in iTunes. But anyway, just wanted to say thanks to Jay Stevenson, Nicholas Harris, and good old Basket Case 86.
Yeah.
From Podbean. Also, I do notice a lot of people got Viking helmets and Viking gear, which is cool.
So the next one we've got is for somebody that we've mentioned before, but I want to reference particularly again. Bruno Lavigar, who is from Canada. He and his.
Sorry, that was.
Okay. I don't know what's going on now. But anyway...
okay, that was bad. Oh, that's a horrible song. Continue.
Okay, so Bruno and Peter the Intern, their show, Millennium Condor, which is normally in French, but they have some English episodes, and
They're doing more and more English episodes,
yeah,
aren't they?
because they do this thing. There's been 2 of them now. The Lore Master quiz, where they get podcasters from around the world to compete against each other and answer questions. And I shared one on our Facebook page the other day, but you can find them by searching Podomatic for Millennium Condor and looking for the Lore Master quiz. The questions are super hard, but it's so funny. And the reason I mention it is because we were a question in the second.
What was the question?
Second one was where did Hell of a Pilot broadcast from?
Oh.
Which for someone overseas, they might not know. The answer is Melbourne, in Australia. But so the person who answered that question was Zach Matthews of the Carolina Crates.
Yay!
Who-
Good show.
Well, yeah, so Zach Matthews, one of the hosts of the Carolina Crates, who he is obviously way more famous than us, but he claimed during the episode that he is the reason that Australia doesn't have a system open. Which I won't spoil it for you. You should listen to the episode and you get the context of that. But actually, Zach, the reason Australia doesn't have a system open is because the giant spiders carry the models away. And there's just no time for it.
Every game is a battle.
Yeah.
Every game is a game of life and death.
Yeah. So actually,
3 crits. I want a Black Widow.
yeah. So actually, Zach, it's nothing to do with you. It's the giant spiders that Australia has. Yeah. But anyway, so Podomatic Millennium Condor Lore Master quiz. Check that out.
Cool.
Very, very funny.
Anyway, thanks everyone for listening. It's been a great night. I really, really enjoyed this show.
I'm going to go and get Nim's tattoo now.
I don't think I've ever seen you on the floor laughing, Mike. Tonight was a new one. I've fallen on the floor.
Yeah.
Lockie's fallen on the floor a couple times.
No, that did it for me.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening, and good night.